Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We hit pan on 4 different eyeshadows this past month in this project. That's right, and we'll be rolling 4 new eyeshadows in their place. So I'm really excited to share this update for pan those eyeshadows with you guys, because I really don't want to hold back those 4 pans from you. Before we do that, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. My name is Rufneet and I make a lot of panning videos. Now let's take a look at the very first eyeshadow that has been in here since 3 months. I think I was working on that eyeshadow for almost 3 months, and then I hit pan on that one in the 3rd month. So let me pull up the total number of uses it took me to reach the bottom of that specific pan, because I did use it a lot and it wasn't super easy. So this eyeshadow belonged to my BH Cosmetics Optimistic AF palette. I reached for this eyeshadow 14 times since last update and I hit pan on the 9th use, but I kept using it to expand the pan, and this is how it's looking like today. It is this brick red shade. In total, I used it 30 times in this project. I'm glad that we were finally able to hit the pan, because it just felt like that it'll go on forever, but gladly we are there. So it is rolling out. Let me give a swatch, because I'm super bad at swatching these eyeshadows, because I really want to show the color story. So this is how it looks like. It's a really nice brick sort of shade. Next eyeshadow we were working on comes from BH Cosmetics Sub-Zero palette, and I was working on this eyeshadow called Heart of Ice. I've been working on this one for 2 months, and last update I only had to use it 2 more times to hit the pan, and then I used it twice more to kind of expand it. So in total I used this eyeshadow 15 times in this project, and this is how it's looking like today. So we hit a huge pan and we also have a decent dip around it. I was kind of getting bored of using blue eyeshadows, because I was working on a blue palette in my Pan Those palettes. I finished all blue eyeshadows in there, and then I got a few blue eyeshadows here and there in my Pan Those eyeshadows projects. So I was wearing a lot of blue eyeshadow. This is what Heart of Ice looks like. It's a pretty shade, but I was kind of getting tired of wearing blues, and ever since I hit pan on this one, I did not wear any blue whatsoever. But that's our second pan and it's rolling out as well. And then the 3rd eyeshadow we had was from Hela palette. It's Oden's Eye and Anelika Nyquist Collab palette. I'm pretty sure most of you have it or are aware of this palette. So I was working on this eyeshadow called Decay. This is the 4th eyeshadow in the 1st row, and I was also working on this one for 2 months. So since last update I used it 4 times to hit the pan, and then I used it 2 more times to expand the pan a little bit. So in total I hit pan on this eyeshadow after 14 uses in this project, but I had 10 prior uses, or even more than 10 uses on this eyeshadow from another project. That means it took me more than 20 uses to get the pan, which is pretty much the case for all of the eyeshadows in here. But I'm glad that we have the pan. It's a greenish sort of khaki shade. I was able to use this as a neutral shade or in greener sort of leaning looks, but I'm glad that we have pan. It's a beautiful shade. It looks darker in the pan, but it does translate as a greenish khaki murky shade on the eyes. And the 4th eyeshadow we're rolling out after hitting pan comes from Subculture palette. This is my project level up palette for level 5. I hit my 5 uses on that shade called Mercury. That was the shade that got rolled in, and then I used it 13 more times in order to hit pan, and I used it 4 more times to expand it, or I just felt like reaching for it. And this is how it's looking like today. So we have a nice sizable pan on this one. I really love this palette, and this is a nice sort of warm grayish taupe shade, I'd say, and I was wearing it in my eyebrows. I also wore it on my eyelids, in my crease multiple times, just to get more use out of this one. Today I'm wearing All Star on my eyelids, and then I have All Star blended with Roxy. In my outer corners I'm wearing the black shade from Pan That palette, and in my inner corners I'm wearing the light champagne shade from my Pan Those palettes again. But if you're recreating this look from this palette, you can easily swap that with Cube, and for outer corners Rowdy can be used, or it can be just worn by itself, like All Star can be worn by itself. So it's pretty versatile and it also blends really well. I have 11 pans in this palette, so we are only left with 3 eyeshadows that don't have pan. I'm really excited about this one, and I have not gotten tired of using this one. I can use it every day. That's how much I love this palette. But it's rolling out for now. That's what Mercury looks like. It's a really nice shade. The last shade that we used 17 times, but it doesn't have pan, and it also had 10 prior uses, at least 10 or more prior uses before rolling it into this project. That one comes from my ColourPop palette, the only ColourPop palette I have, which is the Baby Yoda palette, and I'm working on this shade called The Force to hit pan, and I used it 17 times since last update. This is how it's looking like today. We are nowhere closer to pan. I'm trying to use this product more evenly because it's very crumbly. Its sides are kind of just flaking off, and it is really shimmery, so I only have to just swipe it very lightly and a lot of it comes off. That's the reason I don't have any pan after 17 uses, and I'm mostly using it as a topper shade, which it is. It can be just used as a lid shade on its own, but it kind of makes every eye look very greenish gold, which I don't love, especially if I'm not going for that yellowy sort of golden look. But again, it's a beautiful shade. I still managed to use it a lot, and at this rate I don't think I'll be able to hit pan on this eyeshadow anytime soon, because I really don't want all the sides to just flake off. So I'm just trying to use it more evenly to kind of preserve the eyeshadow in here. That way we won't be able to get to the pan in another 30 uses, but I'll keep working on this eyeshadow until the finale of this project, which is going to be in December. Before I share the eyeshadow looks, let's take a look at the panning percentage real quick. I have a total of 48.48% pan percentage. So 48.48% of my eyeshadows have pan in them. That is right, because I have a total of 198 eyeshadows. Out of those 198 eyeshadows, I have pan on 96 of them. So I'm only left with 102 eyeshadows to hit pan on. I will be picking 4 eyeshadows from 102 eyeshadows. Before we roll in 4 new numbers, let's take a look at some of the looks that I did. So I have 1 to 102, 98, 39, 44. Temu is so aggressive with their advertisements, which is crazy. I see them everywhere on my Instagram, on my other social media like YouTube and stuff, even on this app too. Just really weird how much money they are spending on marketing, but that's not the topic of this video. So let's roll in the last number, 34. Okay, let's see what these eyeshadows are. Well, we got some eyeshadows from some of the palettes that we've worked on a lot this year, but I don't mind it. I'm not complaining. So before I share all those 4 eyeshadows, let's take a look at what I'm rolling over to next month. And that is this eyeshadow called The Force from ColourPop Mandalorian The Child palette. Let me give a swatch of this one. So I'll be just swatching it next to the existing swatches of my previous color story. So this is what The Force looks like. It barely has a base pigment, but I don't mind it. Now let's take a look at what number 98 comes from. Number 98 comes from my Morphe 35O Supernatural Glow Palette, and the eyeshadow we rolled in is called Night Vision, which is this really deep sort of chocolate shade. It's not that chocolate now that I look at it. It's kind of more ashy brown sort of shade, which I think I can use as an eyebrow shade. It's gonna be a bit darker, but I guess I can make it work. So that is going to be the first shade that we're rolling in, and I will also try to use it in my eye looks as well. I just don't want to limit it to an eyebrow shade because it's a really pretty brown shade. I think it can be paired with a lot of eyeshadows. We rolled in our next shade from this My Glam palette, and it's this pink shimmer. This is what that pink shimmer looks like. It has some hues and some disturbance happening, so we'll see how long it's going to take me to hit pan on this one. Also, pans on these eyeshadows are deeper so yeah, they look tiny but they are deep, so it's not so easy to hit the pan. It's a pretty pink shade. I think I would really enjoy wearing it. It's a nice shade. I like it. And the third shade that we are rolling in, it's from the Hela palette again. Yes, so this time we are rolling in the shade called Moss, and it's a nice shade of green. It's, I guess, a little bit yellow leaning, yellow and brown undertones. I wouldn't call it khaki, but it's definitely on the dirtier side, and I love these kind of greens on me, so I'm really excited to work on it. I can feel a little dip happening right here, so we'll see how long it's gonna take me to hit the pan. And honestly, I'm really happy that this one got rolled in. Look at that green next to the pink. I love pairing greens and pink eyeshadows together. In this case, both of them are muted versions of those colors, so it'll be really fun pairing both of them together. I think so far the color story is very cohesive because brown can be paired with pink, green, the force, or I am saying the force, but the golden sort of greenish shade. The golden shade can be paired with green, or it can be used as a topper to kind of top off this pink shimmer. It can be paired with just this night vision shade. So yeah, there are a lot of possibilities. So let's take a look at our final shade of this color story, which comes from my Urban Decay Stoned Vibes palette, and this is a really nice palette. I love the packaging on this one. I love looking at it. So this was my level 4 palette for Project Level Up. So I had to hit 4 pans in here, and I concentrated on mostly the matte eyeshadows because I hadn't shown that much love to mattes in here. So I did that, which was super fun. I love the mattes in this palette. I think I really like the formula of Urban Decay mattes. I mean, this is the only Urban Decay palette that I've ever used, but I assume that their mattes would be nice. So this time we are rolling in a shimmer eyeshadow because we have pan on all 4 mattes in here. So the eyeshadow that we are rolling in is called Bloodstone. It is a traditional sort of duochrome shade, brown to blue. These shades were really popular back in 2015, 2016, and I am really kind of looking forward to use it because I haven't used it a lot outside of my Project Level Up, or I guess my 50 Shades of Green. It's what we're rolling in, and let's take a look at how it swatches. The traditional duochrome with brown base and blue shimmer. I think this color story is way more cohesive than this one. This one was nice in its own way, but this color story seems like that it is intentionally created by someone. So yeah, I'm really excited and looking forward to use these eyeshadows in different looks. I have so many ideas. I hope I remember to take pictures, and I'll also try to do exclusive looks with these 5 eyeshadows. I might throw in some shades here and there, but I'll try to do exclusive looks a little bit more often because then sharing eye looks kind of gets a little bit easier. But that's all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end. I hope you have a wonderful day or night depending on when you're watching my video, wherever in the world you are. I will see you in my next one. Until then, take care. Bye.